Good morning, everyone. Thanks for coming in during. One of the consequences should be a temporary halt in arms sales. This 1-year pause in sales of all arms, repairs, supplies, support really is in defense of our national interest and security interests. The leadership has really been invaluable, and his insights are very much. The Saudis need to come to their senses. They have committed a humongous blunder, very much against their own economic and security interests, as well as ours. The only apparent purpose of this cut in oil supplies is to help the Russians and harm Americans. It was unprovoked and unforced as an error.
I just want to get your guys' perspective on this. You guys both have talked about these consequences.
And I am very hopeful that the president will act immediately. He has the power to stop these sales, and he should exercise that power, in my view. But we hope that this legislation will provide an impetus for the Saudis to reconsider this action and reverse it. There's still time. The oil supply cuts don't take effect until November, and the Saudis can act in the meantime.
Well, thank you, Senator Blumenthal. I very much, from my perspective, it's pretty simple. We have done so much for Saudi Arabia. I mean, the first President Bush basically sent troops to the Middle East to make sure Saddam Hussein didn't invade the Saudis when the troops were in Kuwait. As Senator Blumenthal said, we provide so much, not just in weapons, but in defense cooperation, in joint defense initiatives to the Saudis. They get almost 73% of their arms from the United States. If it weren't for our technicians, their airplanes literally wouldn't fly. A caucus in the Senate among all colleagues, the fact that he is introduced. And so what galls many of us in Congress is the ingratitude. It's the ingratitude. When Americans are facing a crisis because of Putin, when we're paying more at the pump, our ally, someone who we have helped for decades, should be trying to help the American people. Instead, they're hurting the American people. And that will not stand.
Stood up here many times in the last few months. Why isn't this one bipartisan?
They have been receptive, non-committal, but favorable in their remarks that there need to be consequences. And this proposal, as Congressman Khanna said so well, is reasonable and sensible, calibrated to keep the relationship and preserve the cooperation, but restore trust and rebalance it, because it has been so one-sided. And I think many Republicans share that perspective.